Well, welcome everyone. Today's webinar with AMCS, July 17th. And today we'll be speaking about how to stay compliant with payments on Trux and highlighting our AMCS Pay offerings specifically to our Trux community. We appreciate everyone coming today. We'll go ahead and get started. As a friendly reminder, we'll have a Q&A at the end. If you have any questions, please go ahead and load them into the chat and we'll cover those at the end of the presentation. Additionally, we'll be recording this session so that you can share it with your colleagues and review it later for any of your needs following this session. We appreciate your attendance. We'll go ahead and get started. So today we'll be walking through an agenda led by two of our payments experts here at AMCS. We'll review the AMCS Pay for Trux solution and why it's important for now. We'll cover how to get started on AMCS Pay, and as I mentioned, run a Q&A session at the end, and a reminder just to load those questions into the chat as they come in. I'll be your host today. I'm Geoff Aardsma, our head of solutions for North America. Been working with our customers and within the market here in waste and recycling for my entirety of my career. I've been with AMCS for about 3.5 years. I'm joined today by Alex and Matt, and I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves and we'll get started. Alex,
sure.
kick us off.
Thanks, Jeff. So my role at AMCS is the global head of payments. I've been at AMCS for 2.5, 3 years now, and my responsibility is integrated payments worldwide, looking at the not only classic products but new products and how to deploy integrated payments. And with our Trux solution, we designed a compliant solution that works with card processing and EFT or ACH. And it's a very compliant solution, so I'm excited to present it to everybody today. Matt?
Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Thatcher. I'm one of the payment specialists here at AMCS. I've been working within the payment space now for close to 8 years, and specifically for the past 4 years, I've been with AMCS, helping our customers get a better understanding of how payments interact with their software, as well as mapping out our payment solution for the needs of that specific business. And I know I've worked with probably a few of you in the past. Look forward to taking a deeper dive into your payments ecosystem and making sure that you are getting the full benefits that are available for your payments environment.
Great. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Matt. Why don't we dive in? Matt, take it away.
Let's do it. So everyone, you'll hear the term AMCS Pay quite a lot, not only during this presentation today, but whenever you're working with the AMCS team moving forward. And what AMCS Pay refers to, as Alex was mentioning earlier, is essentially that integrated payment solution that we built and designed for our Trux software. And we've allowing you to not only accept credit card payments, but also accept bank debits, ACH payments, EFT payments, and ensure that you are utilizing a fully powered accounts receivable solution within your Trux system. And throughout this presentation today, we'll walk through some of the improvements we've made to that solution, as well as discuss some of the recommendations we have as a team on how you can better accept payments within Trux. So we did want to start this meeting off with a quick announcement to the team. So at the end of this year, so after December 31st, non-PCI compliant payments within Trux will no longer be supported. PCI stands for Payment Card Industry, but that PCI compliance is essentially the gold standard that we need to make sure we're achieving in today's world. And so the reason why we're coming out with this mandate is that it's essential for our customers to become compliant as the risk of these data breaches in today's world continues to grow. Hackers and malware continues to be getting smarter. And we need to ensure that from a company standpoint and from a customer service standpoint, that we're doing everything we can to protect your business, protect your brand reputation, and prevent any sort of financial penalties or fines due to processing payments in a non-compliant manner. So to ensure that there's no disruption to our Trux customers, we are recommending that they upgrade Trux to the latest version of version 7.20.0009, as well as introducing this new PCI compliant solution known as AMCS Pay. And a quick note about this implementation as well. There's no upfront cost, no implementation cost, or monthly software fees to utilize this upgrade. We don't want there to be any barriers from our customers to be using this new PCI compliant solution. Also, if you're not taking payments within Trux today, it's certainly something that we recommend, as introducing integrated payments into your Trux environment will have significant operational and business improvements, as well as streamlining your AR process to reduce the amount of steps it takes to allocate payments to your accounts within Trux.
And I think broadly, Matt, just AMCS is a very technology-focused company, so we surely want all of our customers and their customers to become compliant. And I think that's a good initiative to always keep the standards high in security and compliance at AMCS.
Thank you, Alex. So as we begin to look at this solution and this upgrade within payments within Trux, we can really categorize it into three main verticals or three main columns. That first column is this is now going to be a fully integrated payment solution within Trux. So previously, Trux had a very generic functionality of just providing the ability to accept a credit card payment within Trux. And that was really the extent of the functionality. Over the next few slides, we'll talk a little bit about how we built on that functionality to give you more tools in your tool belt to collect payments from your consumers, as well as added functionality to help with your reconciliation and refunding processes. So we'll discuss more about that in the next coming slides. But this middle column here, security and compliance, that's what I'm personally most excited about, and one of the reasons why we are recommending utilizing this upgrade for AMCS Pay. And that is because this solution is now fully PCI compliant. So if you were taking payments within Trux previously, so if you had credit card processing within your Trux system before today, you were likely using a solution that was not AMCS Pay. And if you were using that non-AMCS Pay functionality, there are going to be some compliance gaps and some compliance risks that we'll discuss. Moving to AMCS Pay is going to provide you that fully compliant solution and help protect your credit card and your any bank accounts that you have saved within Trux. Finally, this last column here, competitive pricing. One of the benefits of using AMCS Pay as well is we can leverage our partnerships that we've had and that we've established with different payment providers out there in the industry. We can actually leverage our economies of scale to help keep your processing rates as low as we can. So we will offer competitive pricing and work to make sure that there's no barriers from our customers to utilizing this new PCI compliant solution. Now, as I mentioned previously, we have built on the functionality that existed within Trux to allow you to improve your accounts receivable solution. So if we were to take a step back and look at the functionality available within Trux prior to today, it was very limited. Essentially, it allowed you to process a credit card payment through the Trux system, but that was the extent of it. And now we're also introducing the ability for you to not only process credit card payments, but improve how you're processing those ACH payments as well. So within Trux, you'll be able to process both those credit card payments and ACH payments. And you can do so by using quite a few different channels. And while the channels aren't listed here on the slide, I can quickly run through them for everyone on the call. You'll be able to process payments on the Trux customer portal if you're utilizing that. You'll also be able to process payments via the CSR screen that we have displayed here. So if a customer calls in and gives you either credit card pay information or ACH or bank account information over the phone, we are able to input that information within Trux through the customer service rep screen to process that payment from that CSR side. Also, if you have recurring payments or if you want to process payments every month, every quarter, or whatever specific cadence you'd like, you are able to enroll your customers in recurring or auto payments so that every time that month or that quarter rolls around, you can quickly process those batch of payments for either credit card or ACH payments. and you can do so, and those payments will automatically be allocated to those accounts within Trux. Additionally, not only will you be able to process credit card and ACH payments within Trux, you'll also be able to issue refunds now directly from the Trux system. And this is a major improvement to how our customers will be able to handle the refund processes in their current state. So in their current state, if you wanted to issue a refund or if you wanted to return funds to your consumers, you were not able to do so within Trux. You would have had to actually open up your third-party payment provider, find that transaction in that gateway, issue that refund in that third-party system, then go back into Trux and make a note that that refund occurred. Now you'll be able to do so by simply pulling up that transaction within Trux, issuing that refund, and then those funds will be returned to your consumer. Now, this is a solution that's going to be fully provided by the AMCS team, and we're going to take care of every aspect of this onboarding for you. So we're going to hold your hand throughout this entire implementation process to ensure that you're getting set up and configured the way that the system needs to be for your business. And also AMCS will be the team that spearheads any resolution for customer or technical support. So if you do need to contact support for whatever reason or whatever payments related topic, you can contact the AMCS support team directly, and we can spearhead that resolution for you. Now, we've been talking a lot about PCI compliance and that upgrade to security. So it's important for us to understand how we're going to become PCI compliant within Trux and how we're going to move you from your current state to your future state with AMCS Pay. So this new AMCS Pay solution, as I mentioned a few times, it is fully PCI compliant. Again, that PCI compliance stands for Payment Card Industry. But the way we achieve that compliance is by using this process called tokenization. Now, at a very high level, and by the way, we'll look at a visual on the next slide to help us better understand this process. But through this tokenization process, we're actually not storing that credit card information within Trux. It actually gets stored and encrypted within our AMCS Pay solution instead. Now, you can still see the cardholder's name, the expiration date, and the cardholder's name, expiration name, the last 4 digits of that credit card within Trux. But that primary account number, the rest of that sensitive data, that doesn't sit in Trux. That's not stored there at all. So God forbid somebody was to get access to your Trux database using AMCS Pay, they would not be able to touch any of your customers' credit card information. We also have robust security and stop gates in place within our system to identify any vulnerabilities and help ensure that we are reducing your risk and liability whenever you're handling your customers' credit card data. So as I mentioned, this slide will help us better understand what this process how this process is gonna work. So we have the current state on the left side, and in that left column, we see that the risk is essentially that credit card data in this diagram. That risk is currently sitting within Trux, within your servers. So if somebody was able to get access to your Trux system or get into your servers or database, they would actually be able to get access to all of your customers' credit card data. And if you did have any ACH information there by a custom build, that ACH data would also be vulnerable. So we want to move you to this right-hand side and help you achieve this compliance by using this tokenization process. And by utilizing the tokenization process, we see that that credit card data, that red, the risk in this diagram, that's all stored within the AMCS Pay solution instead. So as I mentioned, if by utilizing AMCS Pay, it means that, again, God forbid somebody was to get access to your Trux database, they would not be able to gather any of your customers' information. So this significantly reduces your risk and liability when you're handling those payment information. And it also gives customers that confidence they need to do business with you in today's world. As mentioned earlier, those hackers, that malware out there, it's continuing to improve, continuing to get smarter. So we need to make sure we're taking those improvements and taking those steps within our software to help continue to grow and protect that sensitive data. Now, why is PCI compliance important? We all know data breaches, are bad. We see horror stories online about them. But when we actually look at the cost of those data breaches to non-compliant customers, they actually can be quite large. And we have some of those costs listed out on the right-hand side. Costs can vary anywhere from $70,000 to close to $1 million in fees. For even larger merchants and larger businesses, that number can also grow. And again, I'm not going to outline every single cost and potential fee for those data breaches, but one of the ones that comes into mind for myself, and one of the ones that our customers seem to notice as well, is if we look at that second to last row there, loss of customer confidence. After a data breach, we see about a 40% reduction in customers after a data breach. So think about that brand you've spent so hard to build. Think about that brand that you've spent time building, you've established within your community. We want to make sure we're protecting that trust that you've earned. So we want to avoid all of the fees here, avoid any of the potential risk here by moving to that compliant solution. So the onboarding process for AMCS Pay within Trux, it is quite simple. The first step would be to send us 3 months of your recent credit card processing statements. With those statements, our team can put together an analysis for you and show you exactly what the cost of payments would be for your business. Those statements help us identify your business profile and the types of transactions and the types of cards that your team is processing. After we receive those statements, it typically takes us about 3 to 5 business days to turn around an analysis and show you exactly what the cost for payments would be within Trux. As I mentioned earlier, there's no monthly software fee, there's no implementation cost. The only cost you would have with payments would be those credit card transaction fees, similar to what you're currently paying today. But again, AMCS can leverage our economies of scale to help keep the cost of processing very low for you and your team. Once we have the analysis put together and you decide this is something you want to move forward to, we will be moving into step 2, which is to complete an AMCS Pay agreement and a merchant application. The AMCS Pay agreement allows us internally to allocate our resources to this project for you. You'll be assigned a project manager. You'll be assigned a project plan. And with that, our implementation team will hold your hand throughout that merchant application to get that actual financial account set up that's going to be used to move funds from your consumer's bank account or that card brand into your bank account as a business. Finally, we would be moving into step 3, which is the AMCS Pay configuration and data migration. So that's going to be actually when we're implementing this within your Trux database and removing any of the previous data into this AMCS Pay solution that's needed. Also with this AMCS Pay configuration, it typically takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the full process to be completed. And we will make sure that there's no disruption to your business. So you'll be continuing processing payments how you were previously until we flip that switch. There's not going to be any downtime where you're not able to accept payments. We want to make sure there's no disruption to your cash flow. And I'm actually going to hand it over to Alex Taskey here. Again, so to discuss some of the additional benefits and additional aspects of our AMCS Pay solution outside of simply accepting credit card and ACH payments.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Just in particular, I mean, Trux is on the kind of the accounts receivable side. So a card acquirer and an ACH, as Matt described, fully compliant solution. We've been developing our AP side, which is our fuel cards. I think a lot of you may have fleets or be interested in fleet maintenance. We do have an integration with our fuel cards that will allow you to get your fuel card data through your fleet maintenance module, if you will. And another great point is that if you're on the journey to upgrade your software to platform at some point in time, the payments that are set up here kind of automatically go to platform. You don't have to re-tokenize them or redo them. And as you move to platform, for example, as a journey, then you can unlock all the integrated versions of the AP side. We have an amazing disbursements platform that we just launched as well. that you can issue payment to a bank account, to a card, or to a virtual wallet. And that is in a step towards innovation and supporting our customers with dispersing funds within their ecosystem. So those are, a couple of the items we've been working on at AMCS Pay, and happy to book a session. My email would be available to book a session with Matt and your prospective sales rep, just to get some insight on your strategy around payments and how AMCS can help evolve the strategy. Geoff, over to you.
We certainly appreciate everyone's attendance today. We didn't receive anything in the chat. Matt and Alex, is there anything else that you'd like to cover related to payments, the move on to this PCI compliant solution? Any common challenges that we've found in recent implementations that were especially beneficial to our customers?
I think there's a few aspects that when I'm working with customers and talking about this AMCS Pay solution, a few questions I typically get. The first one, which comes up almost every conversation, is, Matt, what do I do with all of my saved cards I have within Trux today, all of these saved bank accounts that I've gathered over the past couple of years? So during this AMCS Pay implementation, we actually pull out all of those saved cards and saved bank accounts you have within Trux, and then we run them through a tokenization process to plug them into AMCS Pay. So if you gathered hundreds or thousands of different credit card profiles from your consumers, we can actually migrate all of those over to this AMCS Pay solution so that you do not have to go and recapture that data from your consumers. Some other aspects that we've been able to assist our customers with is help encourage more of those digital forms of payment. As a lot of you might be aware, check processing and accepting checks from your consumers can be quite a manual and administrative process. And there's actually quite a bit of hidden cost to accepting those checks when you think about the time to actually get those checks processed, get those payments reconciled within Trux. So by utilizing AMCS Pay and introducing ACH and those bank account payments, we can actually encourage more of those digital payments from your consumers and help save time with your administration and your administrative staff, so that instead of spending as much time chasing down checks and reconciling those checks, they can spend time on things that are more productive and beneficial to the goals of the business. As well as thinking about this AMCS Pay solution, some other questions we get from our consumers is, Matt, can we just use our existing merchant account that we have, that we built or that we've made in the past and we've been using for the past couple of years? The answer to that is no. So by introducing AMCS Pay, there were really two main roads we could go down when we were designing this solution. The first one was to be able to use everybody's current provider, everybody's existing merchant account. But we quickly found that if we did go down that route, it would be very challenging for AMCS to continuing to provide the extensive support and functionality that we do today. Because instead of working on development and building out the solution, we would be spending so much effort, so much energy just maintaining that very simple integration with those hundreds or thousands of different providers out there, that it wasn't as practical to continue building on that solution. So we actually went down that second route, where instead of integrating with everybody's existing merchant account, we actually designed the solution, the AMCS Pay solution. So instead of having to integrate with those hundred or thousands of different providers, now we just have that one or two that we need to support, allowing us to continue the development, continuing adding to the product roadmap, to giving you these modern forms of payment that a lot of consumers are expecting in today's world.
That's great. Thank you, Matt. I think, the top three benefits that come to mind for me, obviously the gaining PCI compliance and addressing the real risk of cybersecurity and safeguarding your customers, sensitive information and their trust in you as a provider. Certainly the efficiency of your customer service, sales, and finance or billing staffs to chase payments and reconcile payments and the like. So you'd be able to manage more customers with the same amount or even maybe fewer people. And then I think an increase in that cash flow, reduction in your DSO by getting paid faster, increasing auto pay through those digital channels. I think those are three really compelling reasons. All on top of that we could potentially offer some commercial benefits through our processing fees that may be more advantageous than what some of our customers are experiencing today through third parties, and making that solution able to go on the journey with you to platform or expand out to look at fleet maintenance. A lot of compelling reasons there to get with AMCS and talk more about this. Of course, we're interested to hear from you and understand your thoughts, concerns, all of the questions that you might have. We understand that payments is a heartbeat inside of all of our customers' business, and so we take that with the respect that it deserves, and we truly value the relationship that we have with our Trux customers, and look forward to bringing more innovative solutions to you as we go forward. In closing, Alex, Matt, any parting comments or calls to action?
Yeah, so as a call to action, I do, as I mentioned earlier, I encourage everybody on this call to reach out to your prospective AMCS or Trux representative and find some time to have a conversation with myself and your team just around how payments would be mapped out to your current business. Typically, and Alex and I have spent years doing this with our customers, we've never gotten on a call and been unable to identify one area of improvement. And Alex and I live and breathe payments. We've been doing this a number of years. So I do encourage all of you to leverage our expertise to make sure that you are getting the most efficiency out of your payment solution.
Yeah, so from my side, just from my side in closing remarks, I mean, the solution is upgraded as of kind of 2024. So you're updated, you're compliant, and everything is integrated in your software. It's kind of a no-brainer, the easy onboarding process, easy upgrade kind of thing. So please work with Matt on that. Our goal is to become a client compliant across the board, and we're happy to help our customers' journey around that to support them to get in there.
Wonderful. A last call out to the audience. If we have any questions or anything we can address while we're here with you today. Great. Well, we really appreciate the time taken today to talk about this important topic. We look forward to engaging with you in discussing this further. There's a number of ways to reach us through your sales rep, through our social media channels, through our websites. We urge you to stay in close contact, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for joining today. We'll distribute the recording so that you can share. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.